Hello and welcome to everyone. Today our guest is Bkfc fighter. Correct me if I make a mistake. Scott O'Shaughnessy, right?
You got it, man. Good. Yeah, that's it.
All right. Scott O'Shaughnessy is with us, riding on a great win streak and riding on a great win from Bkfc 12, from Bkfc 20. So, Scott, can you please tell us your impressions of the fight, considering it was not an easy fight to deal with, and considering by your look it was a real war?
Yeah, it was a tougher fight. It was more of a grind, I think that if nothing else, it showed toughness for myself. It showed toughness for my opponent. It's not an easy feat to get, so many knockdowns on somebody and then to have them continuing to get up. It shows a lot for both of us, but I think at the end of the day, although I didn't get a knockout like I wanted, we got good rounds in with a good fighter. More eyes were on me for a longer period of time. And we still got the same outcome. We still did a lot of damage. We still got the knockdowns, and we still got the victory, and we're still undefeated. So I think that kind of outshines anything that I wanted to accomplish. And I'm very happy with the way that it went.
Can I ask you one question, more of a question for a fighter? When you knock somebody down and he keeps getting up, does this irritate fighter? When you knock him out like 2-3 times and he constantly gets up?
No, I mean, I can see that being irritating, but it kind of, the way I see it, it's almost like a challenge. Okay, well, let's see if I can make the next one a little bit better, a little bit harder to make your mind change a little bit. It's a game, fighting has a lot of mental games to it. And look, to be honest, a lot of the guys, unless you get stone cold knocked unconscious, the ones that don't get up are guys that just quit. All right, it's not that we did something special. It's that we're making them quit. We don't want them they don't want to take any more we're giving them. So them getting up, it's like another challenge. It's like, let's see how much more he can take. But at the end of the day, if it ain't there, it ain't there. So it's not, it doesn't mess with you. But it's definitely, it's weird to see somebody getting up. It's like a zombie every time. 4 knockdowns, 5 knockdowns, still getting up. But it just makes you more hungry to keep doing, working harder.
If you could make a perfect Bkfc fighters, what should he have? Should he have big left hand? Should he have the ability to handle all the strikes, good footwork? Can you please try it out?
That's a good question. I think more than anything, I think if he's got good head movement and good footwork, I think that's going to set everything up. Because the thing with bare-knuckle is you don't have to be an incredibly hard puncher, right? You got to be incredibly hard to get hit. If I can move better and put myself in positionally a better spot to land a cleaner shot, that's going to give me more of an advantage. So I would say that being more elusive with your footwork and your head movement is what's going to make you become a better fighter. Because if you can't get hit, you can't really lose. So yeah, that's what I would say. Obviously, power is a good thing. Good left hands and a good jab. Good jab, good head movement, good footwork. I think equals going to be a good bare knuckle fighter.
Bare-knuckle, how many knockdowns per match is allowed? Because I've seen many matches like 5-6 knockdowns and people continue fighting.
Yeah, there's no limit, so there's no 3 knockdown rule. And if they're going to keep getting up, they're going to keep letting them fight. And like in my last fight, they only called 4. They called one of them a slip. And essentially the guy was knocked down 5 times in 3 rounds. And he kept fighting. So as long as they're hungry to fight, the referee is going to let them do it as long as it's safe for him to do. I know boxing has like a 3 knockdown rule in some of their fights. That doesn't exist in BKFC. So look, if you can go, you can go, and they're going to let you fight.
Is there inactivity warning in Bkfc? Like when somebody stays away from the fight, is the referee going to warn him, or it's some other kind of a penalty?
It's not a penalty, but they do tell you. I mean, if you're not, and look, because a referee, I don't really listen to what a referee says, but I mean, if nothing else, it helps kind of bring attention that, okay, we're not being super active right now. Like he might say, okay, get at it, clap his hands, say, we got to go, we got to fight, let's fight. But that's not, we're not here to appease, the referee, and we're here to fight and to fight safely and as best as we can. There's no penalties other than reputation. We know what David Feldman likes to see and Nate Shook likes to see, and they want to see action. So we try to fight that way, but there's no penalty. But we know what we're supposed to do and what we're not supposed to do, yeah.
Which was your first martial art at the beginning of your fighting career?
I started with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and some wrestling. I trained with ex-UFC fighter Rich Clementi for a long time. And I started Jiu-Jitsu, trained, and became a mixed martial arts fighter. And I fought mixed martial arts. I started fighting in 2006. I turned pro in 2010, and I fought professionally until I was signed with Bkfc in 2021. So I've been fighting for 15, 16 years, most of which was MMA. I'm a brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. My professional MMA records, 11 wins, 10 victories. Not great, but, I had more success at welterweight. I used to do welterweight and lightweight. I didn't do really well at lightweight. I was cutting too much weight. Yeah, MMA guy, and Bkfc and bare-knuckle kind of gave me some new aspirations and things to focus on. They kind of changed some of that for me. But yeah, I've been in the game for a long time, the better part of 2 decades.
Who are your coaches and sparring partners?
My head coach is a guy by the name of Kenny Stevens. He's a longtime MMA veteran. He was on season 2 of the Ultimate Fighter reality TV show back in the day. One of the hardest punchers and smartest minds I've ever met as far as a fighting standpoint. I know my success. I know I'm the one in there fighting and I'm the one performing, but a lot of the work that's being done and the improvements that I've made are because of my coach Kenny. I couldn't be here, without him, and I wouldn't want to be in this walk without him. He's a man. It's my main training partner. I got a couple guys. Nick Chorlock is one. He's actually my manager, / training partner / good friend. But the thing is with our gym is, I've been doing this for a long time. I try to keep my circle small. I don't want any sort of outside, anything to mess with me as far as, interferences and things like that. So my circle's real small. It's the way we train, it's invite only. We'll get guys to come in and give us looks every now and again, but we got the group of guys that we're comfortable with and that we go work with. And so far that recipe is doing pretty good, being that we're 2-0. So, yeah.
Can you please elaborate the meaning of your nickname?
The Irish Spartan. Well, I'm Irish with the last name O'Shaughnessy. I played football in high school by the team named the Spartans, and I was an Irish guy, and they started calling me the Irish Spartan, and it kind of stuck. And when I became a fighter, it was something I think sounded kind of cool. I've loved the mindset of the Spartan mentality. I'm Irish. I'm proud of my Irish heritage. And I put the two together, and I think it's a pretty cool nickname, the Irish Spartan. I think I'm probably the only guy in the world with the nickname, the Irish Spartan. So I think it sticks out, and I'm a fan of it. I like it.
Well, fist fight was a national sport of Ireland, I think 200 years ago, right?
Mm-hmm, that's it.
Well, yeah, so technically bare-knuckle is Irish sport, just a modern version of bare-knuckle. It's an Irish sport, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, yeah, that's a pretty much decent one. So, it comes from your home country. I mean, unfortunately, it's not much popular in other parts of the world, like USA, UK, Ireland. But unfortunately, I hope it's going to grow. I hope it's going to grow in the years to come.
I think it will. I really do. I think I know Russia's about to do a lot of bare knuckle stuff. BKFC is talking about, possibly going out there from what I've heard in some interviews. Yeah, I think it's going to continue to explode, and you're going to see a lot more bare knuckle fighters in some pretty more, prominent, positions.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you remember your first MMA fight, maybe? Like first pro?
I do. I remember both. I remember the first one as an amateur. I fought a guy by the name of Scott Stapp. I lost by decision. I remember that. It's probably the only time my entire fight career I got really hurt with a punch was against that guy. It went to a decision, good fight. My first pro fight, I remember that too. I lost my first pro fight, and then I won the next, I think, 4 in a row after that, including a Bellator fight. I'm one of those guys. I remember every fight. You know what I mean? There's really not much that I forget. Every fight's a big deal to me, and it's a kind of a piece of me that either, grows or I try to make peace with if it was a loss. But fighting's pretty personal for me, and I have good memories and bad memories, but unfortunately the memories are all there. I don't none of them get put away.
So, which was the hardest MMA bout for you throughout your career?
Probably my hardest MMA bout was I fought a guy by the name of Thomas Webb in Louisiana. And he was a good fighter, a real solid fighter. We went 3 rounds. I don't go to a decision very often. I think I have a total, including amateurs, I got very close to 40, almost 50 fights, 40 some odd fights, including amateur boxing, MMA, all this stuff. I've only gone to a decision, I think, 4 times, including this past Friday. So me and Thomas went to a decision, and it was a hard fight, grinding fight. I won the first round. I think Thomas, I thought I won the first and second, but the judges thought Thomas won the second and the third, and Thomas won by a decision. But that was my hardest MMA fight. It was just a dig. Anytime you got to fight for that long, that hard, long period of time, you start kind of testing yourself mentally. You get tired. You start kind of doubting yourself. Am I in good enough shape? Can I keep going? And their only answer to that question is to fight, and they keep fighting. So yeah, that was a tough fight. We didn't come on top, but fighting is not, it's not the sport of winning. It's the sport of fighting. If we have the spirit to go out there and to compete at the highest level we can, no matter how the hell we're feeling, I can live with that. So that was one of those fights I thought I did my best in. Just like this past weekend, just because I didn't win by a knockout or something. I know I did it. I fought a good fight. It went to a decision, and we got the victory. So we're doing pretty well with that.
What can you say about your Bellator fight? I mean, Bellator is a pretty much big promotion.
Yeah, I fought for Bellator pretty early in my career. I think it was like my maybe 3rd or 4th pro fight. So I was pretty inexperienced. They were pretty new. I believe it was Bellator 19 in New Orleans, Louisiana. I fought a guy by the name of Gabe Wood. And that was a good fight. Hard fight. Went the first 2 rounds. I thought I won the first 2 rounds, and we go into a 3rd round, and I end up taking his back. And I get it was almost going for like an inverted triangle from behind, and I end up getting an inverted triangle armbar. And they had this cool picture. It was on the homepage of shirtdog.com for a long time. There's a photo of the month or whatever of me submitting Gabe with an inverted triangle armbar, from the back. Really cool fight. Yeah, that was a great memory, getting a win that early in my career. I think it made me like 4-0 or 4-1 or 5-1 at the time. For a good company, all the, the sky was the limit kind of thing, and then adversity struck, and it didn't go quite as planned, but that was definitely a good experience, and I get more of that feeling now for Bkfc since it's another big show. Bellator was a big show. BKFC is a big show. So I get the same sort of feeling like this is a high level, right? This is high level stuff that we're doing with BKFC. And not only am I competing and I'm winning, but I'm making a name for myself, and I'm showing all the work that I've been doing for all these years, grinding for all these years, developing these skills. Now I'm able to do it in front of millions of people watching me. And there's a world ranking next to my name. Right, that kind of stuff is pretty cool. So, but it all started such a long time ago, and now it's just kind of coming full circle to kind of getting to where the places we work to be, and now we're there. So it's a great thing.
Why did you transition from MMA to Bkfc?
It's opportunity. Anytime there's opportunity that kind of meets mindset, my mindset for the later part of my MMA career was to kind of stand up and fight. That's what I enjoyed to do. I like wrestling. I like jiu-jitsu, but I got more comfortable being a boxer and a kickboxer. And let's talk about, to be honest with you, I'm 36 years old now. I'm not a young guy anymore. I'm getting older in my professional career. I got a lot left in me. That's not what I'm saying. But training for MMA is a lot more difficult on your body for me. The consistency of grappling training and wrestling training, kickboxing training, all that stuff, it just takes more of a toll on your body. When I can focus on just my hands, just my footwork and my head movement, I can make myself a lot better in a shorter period of time and do it in a way that's keeping my body safer to train harder and train longer and to fight better. So I think it was a no-brainer for me to make that transition. Plus, it's a higher level. I'm at a point in my MMA career. I'm not going to get to the high levels of MMA. I'm too far behind the eight ball. But starting with this new sport, I'm getting to the upper echelons, and I'm doing it at a pace that's matching the work that I'm putting in. I'm working my ass off, and that's showing in the fights I'm getting, in the way I'm fighting, in the fights I will be getting in the near future.
What can you say about your bare-knuckle debut? It was a pretty much quick knockout against, pretty much famous guy.
Yeah, Melvin Guillard is an absolute stud, man. He's an MMA Hall of Famer type of guy. He's tied for, most knockouts in UFC lightweight history, I believe, with 8 knockouts. That's a lot. And he's not only that, he's a Louisiana legend. So fighting him was a big deal, and it was kind of a gut check, because you look at a guy like Melvin, and I look at him like, holy crap, that's Melvin Guillard. Like, it's a big deal to fight him, and the way the fight happened, I got hit by him. He landed good shots on me, and I was able to take him. Never really got badly hurt, and I landed a big punch and put him on his put him down. And the referee, ended up seeing that he could safely protect himself. That's the referee's call, and he stopped the fight. I went out there, I did my job, I landed a big hard punch. Landed a bunch of punches afterwards, and the referee says, fight's over. And that was, I think, at that moment, and and it's nothing against Melvin. I feel Melvin I feel terrible for Melvin right now after what happened to him in his last fight against Harris Stevenson. But I knew I was going to win that fight. I just knew it. It feels as though it was kind of just something that it was just a matter of time before that fight happened. I was going to be victorious. I'm confident, and I was confident going into that fight. I was confident going into my fight against Simpson, and I'm confident going into my next fight, so to say I have a victory over against a guy like Melvin Guillard, a victory that I earned, it's a really cool thing, and it's a feather in my cap that I can have, forever, and I'm proud of that, because Melvin's an absolute stud. I have nothing but respect for Melvin.
Did you get more social media exposure when you defeated Melvin in a spectacular KO?
Yeah. I think anytime you finish a fight, people are going to kind of share things more and talk about things more. But even when you don't, like, and you put on a 5-round fight against somebody and you compete hard and you lay it on the line, I think people respect that too. What they don't respect is people kind of taking things like being easy and just avoiding, kind of being, distant from combat. That's not what they want to see. They want to see two guys go at it hard. And no matter what, that's what I try to do. That's bearing injury and things like that. That's what the goal is. I don't really think about social media too much. I know I'm probably should, and my people around me say I probably should. I just worry about fighting. And I know if I fight hard, that kind of stuff's going to come. It's going to kind of take care of itself.
Do you have somebody locked in your sights for the potential next fight? Do you have some plans coming up?
That's a good question. And I don't, not particular. But I'll say this, it's not about a person's specific person. It's about whoever thinks they're better than me. If you think you're better than me, then let's fight. And let's find out who's better, because I want a world title shot. I want to be the world champion, and I want to fight anybody who thinks they deserve it over me. It's not about who it is. I respect everybody. You won't hear me call guys out or talk trash about guys. I know what goes into being a bare-knuckle fighter and what it goes into these things. I know it. I do it. Okay, so I'm never going to disrespect somebody by saying this or that. I'm saying if you think that's what you want, I know that's what I want. Let's test it in this world circle and figure out who really deserves it more. That's it.
Would you like to greet somebody? Would you like to give a shout out to somebody, or maybe to mention something we forgot to mention?
Yeah, it's kind of like, anything I do. I just want to thank Bkfc for the opportunities, the matchmaker, Nate Shook, and the president, Dave Feldman, my management team at Devil's Advocate Management, my coach, Kenny Stevens, my sponsors, Walking Thread. You saw the cool Walking Thread shirt I had on with my entrance in this last fight. They're awesome. Those are great guys. You should definitely check out their products. Other sponsor, Mary Jane's House of Glass. Those people really help training, make it a lot easier for me. they support me and they allow me to do these things to perform at the highest levels on the highest stage of bare knuckle fighting. But yeah, I'm a first responder. I'm a police officer. So let us shout out to all the police officers out there. Keep doing the right things, taking the right steps, and being advocates for justice. So, that's it. I'm here to continue to show everybody that I'm a real deal. This isn't some fake game. This isn't something that I'm doing as a fad. I'm here to be a world champion.
Thank you so much for this interview. I will put it to creation now. Hope in 2 hours it will be live.
Thank you, brother. Hey, dude, thank you so much. I appreciate it, dude.
Thank you so much, Scott.
All right. We'll see you, brother.
Bye-bye.
Have a good one. Bye.